I'm gonna tell you an amazing story. And if you are just a YouTuber trying to make it on YouTube, still starting, or trying to grow a personal brand, believe me, this story will really, really, you know, hit home. Now, there were these three guys. They all had a dream to make it big on YouTube. And one went and bought all the best gear, like the best camera, had the latest iMac, had the best microphones. Literally, almost you would think this guy was, gonna start a film studio very soon because he had everything. He bought and maxed out on everything, right? The other guy, the second guy, had a crazy passion for perfection. Always needed to have everything perfect. Have an entire team around him, perfect lighting, always very meticulous about everything. The video, the shot had to be perfect. Perfection was very important to this guy. And the third guy didn't really have the best camera. He just had a camera that worked, wasn't expensive, very cheap camera, like the lowest entry point camera you could find at the time to start a YouTube career. And in terms of perfectionism, wasn't really didn't really care that much. Wanted to film, and was okay if the quality was just okay. He wasn't a perfectionist, just wanted to film and upload stuff. Wasn't super talented either, just wanted to film and upload the whole time. And didn't really had the best gear or the best machine to edit. Actually, his machine to edit was very slow in editing. Very, very slow. Talking of a 2009 MacBook. And they all met. They knew each other. They talked. And this other guy with all the gear would create sometimes videos, sometimes stop creating, would sometimes post, sometimes delete the videos he posted. Was always like, yeah, I don't really feel it, delete the video. Or I'm not really motivated, wouldn't even film, And sometimes this other guy that just simply just cared about just posting, creating, posting, no matter what, would sometimes get him motivated. This other guy motivated to film and post because of his energy. His energy was just like, hey, come on, man, let's go. You got everything. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So sometimes we actually react and film something and post. But on its own, mostly wouldn't be that motivated, and sometimes would barely actually post, or after posting, would just stop posting for a while. So was very inconsistent, but had everything that this other guy could ever dream of in terms of equipment. And the second guy, the perfectionist, would always want every video to be so damn perfect. Even every little scene had to be perfect, which means took way longer to shoot a video. Way longer. Every sentence had to be like an epic moment out of a movie. Out of a Netflix show or whatever. He was an actor too. A professional actor. And they had a conversation with the other guy, with the third guy that didn't really, care that much about, being perfect. They had a conversation. And this other guy was like, hey man, listen, you always want to make everything so perfect, but we're on YouTube. Your upload is always once in 3 months or something, which means sometimes 4 videos in a year. How are you going to be growing with that little amount? of videos. And the guy was like, nah, it got to be perfect. You know, I don't care about uploading that much. I want to just simply deliver quality. It's about quality, not quantity. And he was like, alright, if you say so. But I believe that if I just play the YouTube game and I just keep uploading, over time, I'm most likely gonna have some success because I'm very active, you know. And the YouTube audience, they are actually very forgiving about imperfections. He was like, nah, man, quality. It's all about quality, which is fine. So each his own, right? And 6 months later, the guy with all the gear pretty much was on the same level because, hey, no action, no rewards. You don't upload, you don't film, you can grow, right? And the other guy was growing, yes, because actually made some good videos, right? But was growing like at a very small pace. Guess what? Sometimes he will shoot a video, spend months and months on it, and afterwards on the YouTube, people won't really like, appreciate it that much because, hey, it doesn't mean it's perfect because you just took so much time. I mean, the viewers have their taste, right? So if it's funny or if it's nice, they're gonna like it, but they don't really care that much if it doesn't really fulfill the entertainment. So he will sometimes upload his videos, but although they were very well edited and everything was perfect as he wanted, they wouldn't actually get the views that he may have expected to get from those videos, right? And the other guy that just kept uploading with his okay camera, with his okay audio, but just kept putting in the reps and just uploading more and more, he was already like about to get his first YouTube play button for crossing 100,000 subscribers. And this is exactly my story. This is exactly my story. So I'm gonna just simply change from this view and show you guys the channel I was talking about, because this is exactly that channel that I built at the time and grew to 141,000 subscribers and 44 or almost 45,000, 45 million views almost. And yeah, I wasn't talented at all. I could barely speak in front of the camera. I was just so shy. In the beginning years, I was very shy. I couldn't really speak in front of the camera. And I just knew one thing. I wanted it so bad. Literally, when I even sometimes watch Mr. Beast, speak about how bad he wanted it, I could actually see myself in him. And mind you, I am doing all this in Germany. So at the time when I even started, I couldn't really speak German confidently in front of the camera. So I was very shy because of that. And Germany, we have not even up to 1 million, black people in Germany. So Africans descendants in Germany are very small in terms of population. So it means I don't really have that, how do you say, that backbone of my people that I can rely on. So I really have to entertain some way to actually get an audience on my end. So yeah. And I just knew I wasn't gonna give up. If you know how many times, how many people told me, man, it's not working for you. You can see, you've been uploading so much. Look, it's not working. Maybe it's not for you. Just come on, man. I'm talking of people that really love me, that really cared about me. Actually, it wasn't even from a place of hate. It was just watching the reps I was putting in, watching the reactions and the views I was getting. They were like, nah, man, come on. Just come on, man. Let it be. But I am the type of person you can't get me to quit. The only one that can get me to quit is either death or me. That's it. That's it. It's in my head. I said it. I just ain't gonna stop. And even if everything looks like it's not working, I'm not gonna stop. I'm just not gonna stop. And I don't care about perfection. I just put in the reps. Not that I wouldn't try my best to do what I can do, but I try to do the best I can do with what I can do while I can do it. You know? Like, if I'm trying to film a video today, and I remember days where we would go out and it would start snowing in a sense. It's cold. And we will still get a video done outside in the cold. I remember days where it would be raining. We will still get a video done with the rain. If I had to change something in the script to make sure that it makes sense, I would do it. I remember days where it just felt like, what did I just film, man? What is this? Because some people wouldn't even show up. Like, some people wouldn't even come to the set as promised, you know. And I would say shoot with those that were there and just like improvise and change everything. Like, just change the entire script, the entire storyline, just because, hey, the people that were there to film with me weren't enough, so I had to like do something. I would still film something. I would still film something. I remember days where I just felt like, damn, what is this? You're struggling. It's hard. And almost felt like, damn, what if it doesn't work out? I was like, screw it. It will work out. It must work out. I don't know what, but it must work out. I've literally burned the boats, dropped out of university. Parents don't know. I must make it work. I got nothing else going in my life. Like, I must make this work. That's the position I put myself in. So I couldn't care less about if the quality of the video was 4K. Even if it was 720p, I couldn't care less. I would still film. And I also realized at the time, when I found a nice video that made me laugh or entertain me, because I was like, in the time, pretty much, I mean, this channel is like more of an entertainment channel, right? I didn't care. It didn't really matter to me. I mean, it didn't really matter if a video was 720p or 1080p or 4K and it was funny. If the thing was funny, it was funny. Some of the movies that you watch and that you love to this day, that you can't stop talking about to this day, were shot with one of the oldest cameras in existence, right? But you still love that. You still love that movie. You don't give a damn about the camera. So to an extent, unless it's like the camera quality of like the black and white days, you have no excuse. Like, it's not about the G anymore. It's not about how clean your camera is. If it's 4K, 6K, 8K, all right. It's not about that. And perfectionism is like, okay, what is perfect? Tell me. Like, in the time when I was watching this friend of mine simply like trying to make everything so perfect, I'm just like, dude, not because you were gonna say this sentence so slow and I don't know, like, yes, you're an actor, yes, and with this clean, perfect shot, that's not what is gonna drive the joke home. Like, come on. Yes, the scenery may be a little bit better. Yes, I give you that. But if the sun is shining a little bit on your face and you still say that thing, will it? I mean, it will do something else. But a good entertaining video will be good regardless. Especially we are still trying to make it. We are still on a YouTube level trying to make it. Yes, I know nowadays YouTube is more like a Netflix. It's very high quality. But yes, in the time being, it would have been better to simply be uploading and making more, sacrificing a bit of that perfection. Yes, keep your kind of perfection, because anyways, your level of perfection is so high that even when you drop a little bit, you are still actually gonna deliver something quite good compared to someone like me that won't even give a about the perfection of the video or whatever. I'm just gonna make sure that it's watchable. I'm gonna put in the reps, and best believe, so many videos of mine went viral, had millions of views, had people like, oh my god, this is one of my best films ever. To this day, they still tell me like, you made an amazing movie with that and with this. And at the time, I didn't even know if the idea was good or not good. I just knew I had to film this thing and just drop it, get it out there. And I had the mindset like I always thought like, you know what? I have so many ideas that I'm writing. I just shoot, upload, and it's dead. On to the next. Shoot, upload, it's dead. On to the next. And I would get surprised at how some of the videos were gonna. I would get surprised at how some of the videos like kind of like blew up. I was like, oh shit! I didn't even like thought that it was a nice idea. I didn't even like see it as a nice video or a nice idea. I just like thought, oh, done. Next idea. Next one. Next one. Next one. And that's the thing. And sometimes I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get inspired a little bit by my quality, high professional friend, and simply try to make a quality video too. A nice, deep, well edited, high quality video. And I would try that. After all the work, or after all the days or weeks of putting some effort to make that video. And to me, when I mean putting effort to make the videos, like, it's not even comparable to what my other friend that is about professional would do. Like, he would definitely take months for his video. I would just to me, taking like a week for a video is just already like too much time into a video. It's too much time. And I would observe the results. I'm like, damn, putting an entire week on this video, man. And look at the result. Like, didn't really perform that well compared to the other videos. But then I realized one thing. Because I was making so many videos over time, I was actually getting better at acting. I was getting better at playing my characters. I was getting better at editing. I was editing a lot more than all the others, right? I was getting better at grading, color grading, right? I was getting better at filming. I was getting better at so many things. Creating thumbnails. I was getting better at everything because what? I was putting in so many reps in everything to the point where I was just getting better. It's like, yeah, the more reps you put in, you actually end up becoming even better than the perfectionist in a sense. You get more comfortable playing your characters because you've been playing them a lot more. You get more comfortable just doing what needs to be done. Like, sometimes you don't even realize, but some aspects of what makes a good movie just start growing in you. Just start becoming second nature because you've been putting in so much time. And yeah, you can even see it on this graph, and if you look around, but because I was just I was active at the time for let's say, I would say 1.5 to 2 years, right? That's what it took for me to get to 100k subscribers, around one and a half year, 1 year of just pushing crazy hard. And then I later on, ventured into something else, but I'm back again on YouTube, and back not only as an entertainer, a businessman, but also a teacher right now. So I teach you guys what I'm talking about, just to make sure that I actually tell some real stories lived by a YouTuber to actually make or hit a message home. It's not and will never be about the cameras you have or the equipment you have. It's about how you use what you got that makes a difference. How you get to use and be efficient with what you got that makes a difference. Because that little camera of mine, which I bought, it was an entry camera for, let's say, for 750 euros or $800, right? At the time, 2015. That camera actually financed everything that I have today in my studio, and paved the way for the entire thing that I now own, for the entire business, because I used it right. It wasn't the best camera. It wasn't even close to the best camera of its time. But hey, it did what it had to do. It filmed. It filmed. It didn't film the best videos, the highest quality videos, not even close. But it filmed something. It filmed a video. And that video mattered to me. That video, people enjoyed. They loved it. They watched it. I mean, my best videos to this day on YouTube, with let's say 3 or 4 million views. I don't know, like close to 4 million views, I think. My best video was shot on that camera. Now I have like a 4K camera, camera that can shoot high resolution, amazing quality and whatnot. But that old camera still so far has my most viewed videos. And my determination to make it on YouTube, to make it happen, was a driving force that to this day I'm just happy about, because I realized the more I even listen to other people that have kind of like, achieved some dreams or some goals they set for themselves, they always kind of like say the same thing. They could say it in Chinese or in Japanese, or they could say it in an African language, which I even like speak some African languages. They could say it like in any language in the world, and it comes down to this. They just lock in on that vision. They lock in on that future, and they kind of like almost obsessed about it, to the point that it's only death that can stop them from making it. And maybe it takes that level of obsession. I don't know. You're also gonna find enough people that will like, simply kind of like not have that mindset but still make it. But I'm just saying, like, if you are someone like me that doesn't really feel like he's talented in something, in anything specific, maybe that's what you need. Because in a way, it's also like, because you're not like really talented in any direction, you get to choose what direction you can become good at by simply putting in a crazy amount of repetition. And I even think that, growing like this in any field, in any space, it gives you a level of confidence that I think only very few can understand. But the confidence that comes from understanding that if you actually put your time into something and do it long enough, you will become really good at it. So you just understand something that comes from a place of experience, and it becomes like a superpower. Like, you can't tell me shit. I went through that. You can't tell me shit. And guess what? I went through that. I built a company. It got, destroyed by thieves. They stole everything. They burned it to the ground, in a sense. And I had spent so much time building that company. And guess what? After I looked at the damage done, I was like, I need to start from zero. Guess what? I restarted from zero. I went through hell, and I'm back. And I'm a lot stronger. Like, it's crazy the amount of mental resilience that I have now. It's like I could be sitting on a stove, man, and just be cool. There are levels to handling stress, guys. There are levels. Like, when you see these guys with some crazy stories, they're just so chill about life, and I don't know, like maybe they came from they came home from war, and a bullet barely scratched their ear or their eye, or like they saw death, they faced death, they survived some crazy stuff, or they just had a crazy childhood, or like they had some crazy stories about them, and they are still so chill. Those are people that have like mastered a level of stress that you can understand, and they are just so strong. That's their superpower. Like, they can handle stress on a different level. And I think something that, life will put us through over and over again. And it's part of maturing for sure. But yeah, as we grow, when we go through hardships, we really become stronger, like for real stronger. And it makes us be able to even go through maybe more hardships, or it makes us stay calm despite of hardships. Especially characters like resilience, resilience and constant action. When those two become part of you, guess what? It's a matter of time. Those goals you have, best believe, they've already been manifested. And somewhere deep in you, you know it. It's either death that stops you, or hey, that future that you've been working for, the seeds you've planted, that tree is growing, and you're gonna sooner or later harvest the fruits. And sometimes you may be this damn close, so damn close to harvesting the first fruit, and it's mostly like almost like when you've been doing for so long that you feel like you almost can't do it anymore. Like you almost feel like, damn, I'm almost drowning right now. That's when you get that first fruit. Because best believe, guys, that is like my experience. Yes, that's pretty much my experience. That's my experience. Once I thought I was done, that's when my first video like went viral. And from that day, my channel just like started, and it almost felt like it was overnight. It felt like it was just overnight. It almost felt like somebody like someone just turned the light switch on, and it was suddenly bright. And I just felt like, damn. And not to be like spiritual or something, but I just felt like like The Alchemist. If you've read the book of Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, like it was just like the moment where Santiago got beaten by the thieves on the pyramid, and the guy told him, you know what, I once had a dream that there was some treasure somewhere in Spain, in an old ministry, and on it there was I don't know, a sycamore, and underneath the sycamore there was this treasure, and I wasn't stupid enough to go there. That's in the story, right? I wasn't stupid enough to go there just because I just had a crazy dream that wanted me to go to Spain to find my treasure, or find treasure. So telling Santiago, don't ever make that same mistake, because he actually dreamt that there was treasure in Egypt on the pyramid, and he actually went to Egypt and started digging near the pyramids before these thieves came to attack him. And then he just started laughing when they left, because damn, now he knew that his treasure was home. And yeah, that's kind of like how I felt in that moment. So yeah, in other words, guys, if you find yourself in any of those guys that I talked about, it doesn't really matter though. Like, you can be perfectionist and still make it, as long as you don't stop. Yes. The only one that actually like takes an L is when the person stops. is when the person stops. And I think the older you become and you start setting goals, you start setting goals that may even take you like 10 years to fulfill, because you understand that, you know, you need time to achieve some great things. You need time. Like, ever since that day, you may think, oh, maybe getting the 100,000 subs was the goal. It wasn't the goal. Like, it was just part of the goal. My goal is so big. It's very big. And I'm still just working on it. Like, my entire YouTube engine is just part of the goal. With that being said, guys, just never give up. Alright? And to those that don't give up, you know, sky's the limit.